If you think you have to choose between getting stronger, running faster, or going longer, you don't. Today, I am going to be taking you through a workout that trains all three. What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to my fitness channel, The Hybrid House, a place for people who love fitness. Today, I am taking you through a full body hybrid workout. We are going to be combining calisthenics, strength training, weightlifting, and conditioning into one session to build a stronger, faster, more capable human. As we go through the workout, I will explain why each exercise is included and give you some tips that you can apply to your own training right away. Whether you're training for high rocks, improving your running, getting stronger, or just want to become a more well-rounded athlete, I think that you will get a lot out of this workout. So let's get into it. So here's my tip number one. Use your warm-up as a mini workout. Once you finish your general warm-up, most people will go straight into their big lift. I like to add another piece of some type of calisthenic or core workout before my main lifts. I do that for two reasons. One, my body feels even more warmed up and ready to go, which allows me to get more out of my main lifts. And number two, if I don't make my calisthenic work or core work a priority, usually by the end of the workout, 9 times out of 10, it doesn't get done. So putting it as my first piece, I get to kill two birds with one stone. So in today's workout, it was a simple warm-up of 10 toes to bar, 10 back extensions, and 20 to 30 seconds of L-sits. So working the core with the toes to bar and the L-sits, as well as working the core, i.e. the low back, with the back extension. One thing I've learned over the years is that the little things really add up. Spending just 5 minutes on your core at the start of every workout doesn't seem like much, but over the course of a year, that's hundreds of minutes of quality work. You'll build a stronger trunk, move better, lift better, and have a solid foundation for pretty much everything else that you do. Moving on to the next piece of the workout, I did a 20-minute piece where every 2 minutes I completed 2 single leg jumps with 2 power cleans. I personally love to train this way with a running clock because it allows me to stay on time and make sure I'm not spending hours inside the gym. But my tip number 2 isn't that. It is the importance of having some type of plyo or power movements in your workouts. As we age, we lose power much quicker than strength. So incorporating this movement preserves our fast twitch fibers, improves our bone and tendon health, and keeping our power high will make it easier to maintain our strength. Now, it doesn't have to be complicated. You can start with a simple movement like small pogo jumps, jump rope, or even lateral hops. Now, if you're someone that has experience doing cleans, I would suggest keeping them in your workouts. I personally enjoy doing them. They're fun and a great way to express power. They, of course, are a technical exercise, so there is a big learning curve before you get to a point where you can perform them properly and are able to express power. Now, let's move on to the third piece of the workout, the single arm lunge. Now, could I have picked a lot of other lunge variations? Yes, of course. Would this be the best variation for muscle growth? Probably not. But there is a reason why I picked the single arm lunge as opposed to a front rack lunge or a back rack lunge. Reason number one is in a workout that already had cleans and deadlifts to come, you want to think about how much load your spine is taking. So for this workout, I chose this variation because having the dumbbell overhead takes a lot of the stress off of the back and places it on the shoulder. So no, it's not the best variation for muscle growth, but I'm not a bodybuilder and I'm not looking to maximize every single exercise for muscle gain. For me, this exercise in this workout checks all the boxes that I'm looking for. I'm still getting a good stimulus on my lower body. I'm getting a great core workout. My shoulders are getting a great workout, having to stabilize that dumbbell overhead. Anytime you're doing single leg stuff, I would always start with your weaker leg, and don't be afraid to rest between legs. Make sure you can give the same effort on both sides. Okay, so let's move on to the last part of the workout. I finished off here with 7-minute AMRAP, so as many rounds as possible in 7 minutes. It started with 1 parallel strict handstand push-up with 2 deadlifts. Now, every round I would try to add 1 parallel handstand push-up and add 2 more deadlifts. So I went 1, 2, 2, 4, 3, 6. You climb the ladder all the way up until 7 minutes is done. Now, if parallel handstand push-ups isn't a movement that you are currently doing, a push-up would be a great substitute for this workout. Now, many people will look at the parallel handstand push-up and think that it's not a very functional movement. But I would argue that you have to be a functional athlete to complete this movement. So you have to have strong overhead pressing, you have to have good shoulder and wrist mobility, you have to have good core strength, and of course you have to have great body awareness going upside down. Now, maybe the movement of being upside down and doing a handstand push-up isn't very functional, and you probably won't find yourself in many instances where you'll have to be doing that. But it's a great expression of what a functional athlete is capable of. Sometimes it's not actually about the movement, but it's about the journey that gets you there and who you become along the way. So working towards something like a parallel handstand push-ups, you're gonna gain all of the skills, strengths, everything that is required to perform a parallel handstand push-up. I finished off the workout with some more core work because really, can you ever get too much core? I don't think so. This is one of the most deceivingly hard movements and a great prerequisite exercise for more complex calisthenic movements like the lever and the planche. This last movement is another great core and hip flexor exercise. So there you have it, a full body hybrid workout. As you can probably tell, I am a complete beginner when it comes to YouTube, so this probably won't be the most polished video that you watch today, but that is okay. I am committed to the process of getting better each video. If you have any questions about hybrid training or this workout, leave them in the comments below. I would love to hear what you're training for. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.